Sagicor Bank is 7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, on alert, Health Ministry stepping up surveillance on Hantavirus, strengthening oversight, sweeping reforms for under fire University Hospital, and an absolute shame, wretched state of Haile Selassie High School exposed in a CVM original report. In the business report, pension fund reforms Jamaica's reconstruction. While later in sports, Jamaica's Bunny Shaw and Manchester City win Women's Super League.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Every dream conquered is another dream game. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard, and the music keeps on playing.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday, courtesy of.
Seize the next IPO opportunity seamlessly with the Sagicor e-Invest.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Wednesday, May 6, 2026. I'm Nika Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us. The government is moving to strengthen oversight and governance at the University Hospital of the West Indies as calls grow for reform within the institution against the backdrop of a scathing Auditor General performance report. Speaking at a post-cabinet media briefing Wednesday, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton revealed amendments to the hospital's governing law are now being considered alongside changes to how the board operates. Akeem Art has more.
The push to amend the governing law of the University Hospital of the West Indies comes as authorities seek to tighten oversight and improve how the institution is managed. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says reshaping the hospital's board, including reviewing its size, will allow for more effective decision-making and a stronger accountability at the highest level.
The committee has recommended that the UHWI Act be amended to consider, among other things, the size of the board, the definition of ex officio membership, and language alignment with the Custom Act. The committee found inconsistencies with the University Act and the Customs Act, even though the Customs Act would supersede the University Act.
The committee has also recommended the appointment of an independent body to provide oversight to the board for a one-year period. This entity would guide hospital governance reforms, drive cultural change, and ensure compliance with critical operational standards. Dr. Tufton adds that the UHWI Act is outdated, with several clauses now requiring urgent review to reflect modern healthcare management practices.
There were clauses there, one in particular, which gives the university the right, the authority to get waivers, for want of a better word, on custom duties, full stop, almost for whatever reason, could be interpreted anyway. And of course, the Customs Act has a very different position. And that seemed to in the view of the committee, created some possible confusion, even though a strict reading of the law would indicate that the Customs Act should guide those decisions.
In the meantime, the committee believes Jamaica may not currently have a single entity capable of delivering the level of transformation needed for an institution as complex as the University Hospital.
The University Hospital is a special creature. It's not like any other hospital. It's a teaching institution. It has layers of governance structures that involves the wider university system, UWI, which is very much represented at the level of the board, and of course it serves Jamaicans. It's not the free healthcare access that the rest of the health system is, but it provides a lot of free service because it doesn't refuse anybody.
The review also highlights the need for stronger internal planning systems, clearer decision-making authority, and improved consultation processes. Enhanced financial governance and better resource management were also recommended, alongside the introduction of a service-level agreement between UHWI and the Health Ministry, similar to agreements already in place across regional health authorities. Akeem Art reporting for CVM News.
If the Jamaican government is unable to come to an agreement with the Jamaica Public Service Company JPSCO over its recently approved electricity license, then international players will be engaged. That's according to Energy Minister Darrell Vaz, as he outlined the need for an energy system that meets the needs of the Jamaican people.
Insisting nothing will break his presentation stride despite continued interruptions over parliamentary procedures and interjections, Energy and Transport Minister Darrell Vaz announced approval for the latest JPS electricity license. This after heaping mounds of praise on the power company for what he called its efforts in swiftly returning some 99% of hurricane-hit customers to the grid.
At this point, Cabinet has approved a heads of terms for the new license, which is to be negotiated with JPS subject to the execution of a non-disclosure agreement between the company and GOJ. At the same time, a review of the Electricity Act and the regulatory framework is to be done to give effect to the new license regime. It is to be noted, Mr. Speaker, that as we already outlined, if there can be no agreement with JPS, we will approach the international market to identify a provider.
Minister Vaz says work is underway to secure international legal counsel to support the process as the ministry strives to achieve the most efficient outcomes.
A white paper for electricity sector reform has been drafted and is now subject to review. Naturally, the white paper will be brought to Parliament as soon as Cabinet approval is obtained. Madam Speaker, obviously, Mr. Speaker, you would understand that in a sensitive time like this with negotiations, I give you an outline, obviously, making sure that it doesn't compromise the negotiations going forward.
In March last year, the ministry engaged international firm Francis Maud Associates to conduct a comprehensive review of the electricity sector with a focus on the all-island license and strengthening the regulatory framework.
In the meantime, Darrell Vaz says plans are afoot to implement a national ride-hailing policy to help with regulating and monitoring the modern multimodal system. He's advised that a steering committee is already in place.
Madam Speaker, ride-hailing services remain a pressing concern for this government as we seek to modernize Jamaica's transport sector and ensure safe, regulated and accessible mobility for all citizens. I'm pleased to advise that Cabinet has granted approval for the development of the national ride-hailing policy, establishing a foundation for a comprehensive regulatory framework. This framework is necessary to guide the operations of ride-hailing in Jamaica. A steering committee has been established to provide oversight and ensure stakeholder engagement throughout the policy development process. Madam Speaker, the next stage is to develop a policy green paper. Work is actively underway to advance the development of this paper to be tabled in Parliament within the next 3 months.
A warning from medical experts to Jamaicans this evening to take precautionary measures against Hantavirus, despite there being no confirmed cases locally. This comes as the government says it's now stepping up surveillance for the virus. But there are some constraints. Amoy Harriet has been tracking the story.
Between Europe and South America, officials are racing to contain further exposure to Hantavirus following the recent outbreak aboard a vessel traveling through the Atlantic Ocean, which has left 3 people dead. Switzerland and the United Kingdom are now the main countries involved after a hospitalized case in Zurich and 2 individuals in the UK were identified as having possible exposure. Now, there have only been a handful of documented Hantavirus cases in the Caribbean over the past several decades and no significant outbreaks recorded. Still, health officials across the region aren't taking any chances. Locally, health authorities are also keeping a close watch, noting that Hantavirus is similar in nature to leptospirosis, which has been a concern in Jamaica in recent months.
The thing with Hanta is it usually progresses to the more fatal form of the virus, which is the Hantavirus syndrome, right? And that's basically when you have fluid, for lack of better words, fluid leaking into the lungs, which makes it very difficult for you to breathe on your own. So this would be a warning sign that this is possibly something bigger than the leptospirosis virus or bigger than the regular flu.
Dr. Lenworth Sterling is a medical doctor who's part of the Northeast Regional Health Authority. He's cautioning that the rodents which carry Hantavirus aren't different from those in Jamaica.
Each region in the world has their specific rodent that brings it, right? But for Jamaica, it would be what we know as our regular rats. Once they are infected with the virus, then they can in turn, give us the virus.
So with that being said, it isn't far-fetched to think that perhaps there has been a case of hantavirus before, but we just didn't know?
It is possible that there has been, but none that we have documented.
In the meantime, the Ministry of Health says there is now heightened monitoring, particularly for incoming cruise vessels, alongside increased public health sensitization. But
at the present time, we do not have in country the capacity to test for hantavirus. However, regionally, we do, because the CARFA, our Public Health Regional Agency, has the capacity to test, and we have spoken to them. We have transportation systems that have been strengthened recently, coming out of changes that they have made at CARFA in terms of ensuring that we can get quick transport of samples to Trinidad for testing. So that is in place. We've also been in discussions with PAHO, and we are looking at other collaborating centers.
Speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Besesa McKenzie noted, however, that she's confident that, like the COVID-19 pandemic, the sector will be ready if there are any confirmed cases.
Just like with COVID, we have the ability to ramp up very quickly in terms of having our own testing, because we do have the equipment that can test. It's just for us to bring in the reagents and to do the training of the staff, and we were able to do that very quickly with COVID and with other problems that we've had to manage. So I don't doubt that we will be able to do that in case we do have any problems.
The public, in the meantime, is being urged to do its part.
If there are openings in your house, for example, you have gaps in your doors or your windows, and you need to seal them as soon as possible. You need to secure your food so that rodents don't have any contact with them. So if you have cupboards that are open, then you need to, for example, utilize cling wrap bags and so forth. Pay very close attention, because you don't always see the rats, but you can always see the droppings or signs that they are around.
Amoy Howard, CVM News.
There's more to come right after the break.
Employers, once a month, you have the power to shape Jamaica's future. By paying your hard 3% contribution, you're not just contributing, you're investing in people, in skills, in our economy. Your hard contribution trains working-age Jamaicans, aligns programs with workforce needs, and secures our future. That's not just contribution, it's transformation. Contribute to heart and to your future.
Finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the onion ring zinger from KFC. KFC, it's finger licking good.
This is Flow, Jamaica's fastest mobile network, as verified by Ookla. It's the result of a complete network rebuild, with more power backup to reduce outages and satellite backup for greater mobile stability. You can even make regular calls using Wi-Fi. Welcome to our new era of connectivity, and we're not stopping there. This is Flow, Jamaica's network.
Thanks so much for staying with us. The Jamaica Labour Party is this evening accusing the opposition of bringing unprecedented disruption and indiscipline to the nation's parliament. JLP Communications Chairman Senator Abka Fitz-Henley says the opposition has been attempting to smear House Speaker Juliet Holness because she refuses to allow them to act above the rules of the House. He insists the conduct is being led by PNP President Mark Golding.
I have been observing parliamentary proceedings in Jamaica for over 2 decades now, and the level of lack of discipline and disregard for the guidelines of the parliament that is being displayed by this current Mark Golding-led opposition PNP is the most severe I've seen it for a long time. The opposition has sought to turn the most honorable Juliet Holness, Speaker of the House, into a scapegoat because they cannot get away unfettered with this level of heightened lack of discipline, which they insist on imposing on the parliamentary proceedings. What is most disappointing is that the opposition leader has led the way in the display of lack of discipline. Last week, he was first on his feet when the marshal was directed to do his duties, which he has authority to under the standing orders of the parliament. And this week, he insisted on raising a point of order, accusing a minister of misleading the parliament, when those of us who are in the parliament and observe parliament know that is not provided for in the standing orders which govern the operations of the parliament.
His response follows the opposition's calls for the Speaker's dismissal after a ruling that Dr. Angela Brown-Burke could not deliver a personal statement in Parliament. He says the PNP's response is another example of their disregard for the standing orders, noting that statements on controversial matters are not permitted. Fitz-Henley insists the opposition must be called out for disruptive behavior and attempts to breach parliamentary rules.
Every parliamentarian who takes the time to look at the standing orders knows that a personal statement shall not be made concerning a matter that is controversial. Philip Paulwell knows this, Mark Golding knows this, Mrs. Brown-Burke knows this. However, they have put out a statement seeking to denigrate the Speaker and the Parliament of Jamaica for not allowing them to breach the very guidelines of the Parliament. The statement put out by the PNP is another indicator of their feeling that they are above the law, above the guidelines which govern the Parliament.
From mold-covered walls to classrooms with no windows, one high school is this evening sounding the alarm over its deteriorating physical condition. Despite its national and cultural significance, stakeholders say the Haile Selassie High School isn't receiving the level of support it deserves. Our reporter Amoy Harriet visited the school.
And her Imperial Majesties, it became important.
This is what greets visitors to Haile Selassie High School in Kingston, a visual representation of the school's identity and pride.
The other mirror, this was erected in the 50th anniversary of the visit of His Imperial Majesty.
Significant for the school, which remains the only one in the Western Hemisphere named after an emperor and holds deep cultural significance within the Rastafari community and Jamaica's wider cultural landscape. But a further walk onto the school compound reveals a stark and troubling contrast. This is along the Grade 10 block. There's almost an equal amount of paint and mold on the walls.
A significant portion of our roof has been compromised for years. We've just gone through our third cycle since Hurricane Melissa of scraping mold from the walls. It therefore means that an entire block, for instance, has to be taken out of rotation whenever it rains, or if we just don't turn the hose off that leads to the tank on the roof and it overflows.
Aniona Jones is principal.
We have no windows on one entire section of our school. It's going to cost about $2.3 million just to put windows in. So when it rains, that another entire block is under up to 2 to 3 inches of water.
To compound an already difficult situation,
we do not have electricity in several areas of our classroom. Our breaker facility that was cutting edge in 1969, just not cutting it in 2026.
And many of the problems, she insists, predates Hurricane Melissa. Now, teachers have been volunteering their own resources to help fill the gaps, and support from various partners has provided some relief. But Principal Jones says a lingering stigma tied to the school's association with the Rastafari community continues to limit the level of support it needs from corporate Jamaica.
We also have to navigate the reality that there still are pockets of citizens in this country, groups in this country that are not necessarily very pro-Rastafarian. I'm trying to find my most politically correct way to unfortunately gets in the way of really helping the school and the children to progress.
Notably, public high schools receive some $500,000 yearly for maintenance from the Education Ministry, but that support is not enough.
It's not always so easy through internal income generation activities to hit those three. The roof is $16 to $18 million. The windows in just one section of the school is $2.3 million, and approximately $1.4 million just to upgrade our main breaker in one section of the school. Right there alone, you can see the kind of hurdle that schools like mine are now trying to overcome. So schools like ours, it is not equitable to give us the same as other schools because we need so much more.
Now at Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing, our newsroom put the matter to Permanent Secretary in the Education Ministry, Dr. Kassan Troop.
There are some schools that need more. So our standard ratio that we use to fund school, we have been asked by our minister to review that for this year. We have sent to her already a framework, but she has sent us back to do the consultation. So the CEO is leading the consultation with our principals and board chair to come back to minister with a proper formula to ensure that those schools that have small numbers, that we can give them more in the new academic year. So yes, Selassie is on that list.
Amoy Harriet for CVM News.
Teachers across Jamaica were honored in grand style today as Sandals Resorts hosted a special celebration at sea. The initiative forms part of efforts to recognize the hard work and dedication of teachers, particularly amid the daily demands of the classroom.
Classroom, it's really appreciated today. Thanks to Sandals, because I know that even though we have our boards, at this time, some of us are really struggling financially, so we are grateful for the opportunity just to be out of the classroom, just to breathe and relax. I have seen colleagues I haven't seen for years, and I really appreciate them being around them at this time. And for Sandals to be doing this at such a time, I know that they have been, on the ball, helping a lot since the hurricane has passed, and to really incorporate the teachers at this time, we really do appreciate it.
In the meantime, Regional Public Relations Manager at Sandals Ocho Beach Resorts, Lindsay Isaacs, says Teachers' Day should not be limited to a single celebration on the calendar. She notes that educators deserve recognition all year round, describing teachers as Jamaica's unsung heroes, individuals who continue to shape lives, build communities, and contribute significantly to national development.
Today we choose the National Teachers' Day to salute our teachers. I would love to do many more, but as we usually do, last year we had just over 500 teachers we celebrated, but today we can only do 150 on the luxurious two-decker catamaran that we have from Island Roads. Special thanks to Island Roads for giving us the partnership here. But they were very excited. I had to reduce the numbers, but those are the 150 teachers that came, really enjoyed it. We had 150 teachers from 49 different schools. It was amazing.
Meanwhile, the prosecution's witness was re-examined Wednesday on his ability to identify the deceased Shanice Robinson, with the defense submitting that the questions posed were improper. This in the ongoing trial of alleged leader of the Clansman gang, Tesha Miller, and 24 co-accused. Carla Ramdeen was in court and files this report.
The prosecution, in re-examination on Wednesday, sought to clarify the witness's response in cross-examination regarding the quality of a photograph shown, which he identified as the deceased Shanice Robinson. The prosecution asked what he meant in his testimony on Tuesday under cross-examination by defense counsel Denise Hinson when he told the court that the image was distorted. The witness said it did not give a true representation of a person. The prosecution then followed up on the witness's earlier testimony under cross-examination, where he agreed the document was a photograph of Shanice Robinson, but indicated that due to the distortion, he was not sure about its clarity. Defense attorney Denise Hinson objected, arguing the witness had already told the court the image was distorted and it did not give a true representation. Presiding Judge Justice Dale Palmer permitted the question, noting the witness in his earlier testimony stated it was a photograph of Robinson. When asked directly if it was a photo of Robinson or if he was unsure, the witness said he was not sure based on the clarity. The prosecution then sought to have the photograph shown again and asked what distinguishable feature, if any, the witness could make out. Hinson objected, saying the question cannot follow given the witness's evidence about the distortion. The judge instructed the prosecution to reword the question and permitted the question. The witness told the court the main feature he is able to point out is her mouth. The witness also pointed out the nose, adding that the distortion does not make it clear. The evidence goes towards the robbery and murder of Noah Smith under counts 15 and 16 of the 32-count indictment. The accused are Michael Wildman, Jerome Spike, Nashawn Guest, and Giovanni McDonald, who are on trial for knowingly facilitating the commission of these offences. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
And the judge granted the Crown's application to amend the 32-count indictment. The amendment changes the date in counts 3 and 4 for knowingly facilitating the commission of the murders of Daniel Scott and Marcus Williams from August 5, 2017 to August 4, 2017. The accused charged under those counts are Tesha Miller, Rolanda Germain Hall, and Michael Wildman, all of whom have pleaded not guilty. Amid a nearly 300% increase in murders so far this year, police in Manchester say they are waging war on criminals. Manchester's sharp uptick comes despite national figures trending down. Crystal Williams has the details.
Has recorded 14 murders so far this year, nearly 3 times more than the 5 recorded for the same period in 2025. Head of the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Area 3, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, says the team in the parish will now be waging war on criminals to curb the sharp rise in homicides.
So this room is now your war room, Mr. Duncan. Because we're going to wage war against those who continue to try and destroy Manchester. Some persons believe that Manchester is a safe place for criminality. It will not be. We're not going to allow it. We shan't have it.
The commander's suite at the Mandeville Police Station was built at a cost of $7 million, sponsored by 13 companies.
It is our sincere hope that this conference room will serve as more than a meeting space. May it become a center for meaningful dialogue, strategic planning, innovative solution, where law enforcement, business leaders, and community stakeholders come together to address challenges, strengthen relationships, and build more resilient Mandeville.
According to ACP Phillips, when morale is high and the space is professional, performance flows.
This will be your classroom, your boardroom. Here you will brief teams before major operations. Here you will train young constables. Here you will sit with your citizens. Some of the various stakeholders, you'll call them back into this room, your pastors, your business owners, and partner agencies to solve Manchester's problems together.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
CVM News at 7 continues after these.
said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the onion ring zinger from KFC. KFC, it's finger licking good. Say yes to the new onion ring zinger from KFC. The time by KFC is
7:30.
I'm me at the style, it's no scam and style me.
From the market to the farm to the office, money talk is everywhere. But are you making sense or nonsense? The Bank of Jamaica brings you common sense with BOJ. Real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress, no charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early? But Miss Pam gave it to her cousin first.
Or a sketchy loan flyer.
Electrifying deals.
See why making the right financial choices is pure common sense. Brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, empowering everyday Jamaicans one episode at a time.
Grandpa, it's 2026. You can't keep hiding all your money in every single pocket forever.
Welcome back. It's now time for the Business Report with Joel Crossgill.
Lots to share with you in the Business Report today. If you've been eager to hear more about how the patient capital of pension funds will support Jamaica's national reconstruction effort, the 2026 Pension Industry Association of Jamaica (PIAJ) annual luncheon is where you'd get your fill. First, from Finance Minister Favour Williams, who spoke to Phase 1 of the reforms.
At my budget opening, I said to the pension industry that beginning in the new fiscal year in which we are now, we will begin a process aimed at increasing the percentage of their assets that they can invest in the equity of private companies. We anticipate that together with the Financial Services Commission, we can take a small but consequential step to increase the pension fund private assets limit from 5% of total assets to 7.5% of total assets.
As at September last year, Minister Williams said there was almost $850 billion in Jamaica's pension industry, and today, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness speaks of the significance of the asset class for the establishment of investable, large-scale projects.
Jamaica's reconstruction cannot be financed by government alone. We will use concessional financing. We will use climate and resilience financing. We will use public-private partnerships. But we must also mobilize Jamaica's own savings. The long-term capital held in pension funds and insurance companies to help finance the infrastructure backbone of national reconstruction. The objective is not to force pension capital into national development. The objective is to create bankable national development projects that pension capital can responsibly support. That distinction is critical.
As an example of an infrastructure asset that is properly structured and open to Jamaican investors, the Prime Minister cited Trans-Jamaican Highway.
It has allowed ordinary Jamaicans and institutional investors to participate in a national infrastructure asset. Its performance on the Jamaica Stock Exchange in recent years has demonstrated that infrastructure, when commercially viable and properly governed, can be both a development asset and an investment opportunity. But let me be clear, this is not an argument for indiscriminate investment. It is an argument for disciplined opportunity. And I will say this, much of what we will undertake in our National Reconstruction and Resilience Building Program will create long-term assets for the public good, for which the public must use, and which will generate long-term streams of reliable income. And that is the place where, that's the sweet spot for pension funds. And we must find a way to have a channel for our pension funds to participate in infrastructure reconstruction.
But with fewer than 20% of employed persons enrolled in private pensions arrangements, efforts are also being made to expand uptake.
This is why the proposal on pension auto-enrollment is worth serious consideration. Well, let me rephrase that. This is why the government will implement pension auto-enrollment.
And if auto-enrollment is not enough to encourage retirement security, the PM is also considering another PIAJ proposal.
A micropension framework can extend regulated retirement savings to workers with irregular incomes, seasonal earnings, or no single formal employer. It can allow flexible contributions, use digital platforms, connect with mobile payment systems, and lower barriers to entry. It sends a clear message. Retirement security is for every Jamaican who works, contributes, and seeks a secure future. That is how mature economies develop. They convert savings into investment. They convert investment into infrastructure. They convert infrastructure into productivity.
And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
Up next, sports with Jordan Fort. Stay with us.
Finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the onion ring zinger from KFC. KFC, it's finger licking good.
It's game on at Quartz. Spend $150,000 on credit purchases or $250,000 on cash at Quartz from May 1, 2026 to June 20, 2026 to be automatically entered for a chance to win one of 3 smart TVs to watch the matches in style. First place gets a 98-inch TCL smart TV. Second place a 55-inch. And third place a 43-inch. Score big and upgrade your game day vibes when you shop at Quartz, bringing value home. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk